It's official. The Xbox One has a release date, and plus we get to check out the first sort of Xbox One commercial. Plus we have some PAX Prime footage from GeekGamer.tv. All of that when this episode starts now. This episode of GT Live is brought to you by PreSonus. PreSonus makes some of the highest quality gear around, like mixers, preamplifiers, monitors, controllers, signal processors, and even software. For more information, please visit PreSonus.com today. Welcome everyone to another edition of GamerTech.tv. Oh, do we have an awesome episode for you on this Saturday, not Friday edition. I do want to explain that here in a second. But joining me, as she always does, my co-host, Annie.
Hello.
Look, she's wearing green today, people.
I am.
Look, she spent like
green.
Yeah, but she spent like 30 minutes getting ready for the show. You know, I just
camera tested some shirts.
She did. She camera tested some shirts, and then
now I know.
I just threw on a t-shirt and combed my hair. So
now I need buy a new shirt.
You also need.
That's what I learned today. Learn to look at the camera.
Yes. Do I need to get one of those little red boxes that signal when you're on?
I'm gonna hang a little picture right here so it looks like I'm at least talking to you.
That sounds like an awesome idea. All right, so I'm going to explain a little bit before we get into the show. I know we boasted everywhere and we posted everywhere that we were going to be doing this on Mondays and Friday nights, but we soon come to realize that Friday nights was a raid night. So what we're going to do is we're working on beta testing some streaming stuff for actually doing the raids that we do in World of Warcraft to stream to you guys on the stream and to archive and to play in the 24-hour feed once we get it going.
I think we're going to test it this Tuesday.
We're going to test it Tuesday.
With the new patch for everybody who's excited for World of Warcraft.
Yep, 5.4.
First trip into Siege of Orgrimmar.
Yep.
Orgrimmar. You know what I mean.
You know what? You'll probably get 9 emails going, that's not how you say it.
Well, I'm aware that's not how I would normally say it either, but that's the way the way it came out.
It's the way it came out. But it's going to be really cool. So we couldn't do it on Friday, so we figured we'll do the show on Saturday. You know, no one really does anything on Saturdays anyways, right? Nobody goes out. Everyone stays home and watches us, hopefully. Of course. But, yeah, so we're going to be doing Mondays at 8 and Saturdays at 8 would be the 2 show times. And then the raid stuff is going to be every Tuesday and Friday, right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays and probably Fridays and maybe even Wednesdays.
Okay, so a lot of raid streaming, but that's not all we're going to do.
I don't know that we're going to do every single raid every single week.
You know, if people watch it, I'll do it. Okay, if people watch it. I also want to apologize for anyone watching the video. I know this is too bright.
It's fine.
Yeah, I know it's too bright.
It's fine.
No, it's not. But anyways, yeah, so we're going to have all that cool content, and plus, we're going to throw in some Counter-Strike stuff once we're still building servers and everything for the show. So, but I also want to remind everyone that on September 10th, we're going to be doing the live iPhone Apple event.
Would you like to explain to people why we're doing a live Apple iPhone event?
Yes, I will explain. Some people brought up the idea, since we're a gaming show, that why are we covering Apple event? We shouldn't be covering Apple event. That's just wrong. The reason why is you can play games on your iPad and your iPhone. And I figured we do have some tech things that are going to be on the show and on the website that are not going to be just gaming. But since you can game on an iPhone, iPad, I figured why not?
It's relevant.
Now, there's not going to be any live stream from Apple, boo, unfortunately. There will be live bloggers, and basically we're going to go through what they're blogging and talking about and then relay to you the information.
We're going to be covering their coverage.
We're basically going to be covering coverage, and this is the first time I've actually done that without a stream, so it should be interesting. So make sure you tune in. It'll be 12 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday, 12 to 12:30, somewhere around that time. Because, these things never get started on time.
And that's Central.
So 12, just get here about 12 o'clock Central. You'll be fine. And then on November 8th, we're going to be covering BlizzCon Now, this we are going to get the stream for. We can't show it, unfortunately. The copyright rules. So, but we're going to have it up. We're going to watch it. Mostly just the big announcement, like the big keynote that they have. And then as soon as it's done, maybe we'll sneak some audio. Maybe. I don't know. If you guys are good. But yeah, we're going to cover that and then talk immediately after what, we thought and everything like that. And we're going to try to do this with a whole bunch of any kind of keynotes as tech or gaming. We'll try to do that. So it gives us something to do and something for you guys to watch. More stuff for the website. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
She's
can't see me nodding.
She's asleep over here.
I'm nodding.
All right. Enough of this. Let's get into the first story. You may have noticed that, of course, on some other gaming sites, that Xbox and Microsoft have put out the first commercial for the Xbox One. And, well, I'll let you judge for yourself. We're going to show you the video, and then we'll talk about it when we come back.
Xbox on. Xbox, Skype, Derek, you.
Okay, so that was the commercial. Probably cost them quite a bit of money. Looked good. But I don't know if it's just me, but did you happen to maybe miss the, gaming part of the Xbox One in the commercial at all? Where was the games? It was all about fantasy football. And the fact that this was basically...
That's technically a game.
Okay, no. That, yes, fantasy football is...
By that right, football is also a game.
Yeah, okay, well, here's the thing about this, though.
Not what you mean.
Not what I mean. Is I didn't see a single person with a gaming controller in hand...
Because you can talk to it. You don't need a gaming controller.
All I got from that was that this is a $500 cable box with voice commands.
Makes your TV a smart TV.
I'm not paying $500. If I want that, I'll go get a smart TV.
But
what if I already have a smart TV?
Okay, well, maybe for their very first Xbox One commercial, they should have done, a gaming commercial.
Well, okay, there's a little bit more to it. I did some research about it, though. And apparently what they did is they partnered with the NFL because, football is obviously coming back. And they wanted to market this commercial towards those fans. What I don't get is how do they think that people who watch and like football don't play video games? Madden is the biggest selling game they have.
But that's not the point of the commercial.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that they couldn't. Just one of the people on the couch has an Xbox One controller playing Madden. That's all I asked for. Is that hard?
That's not what they're trying to showcase. Like I'm saying, I think it's a perfectly good commercial for what they're trying to showcase. Yes, maybe considering it's a gaming console, their very first commercial for the system should have been a gaming commercial, or either that or maybe released a gaming commercial and that commercial at the same time. Like, I understand what you're saying. It's a gaming system and there's no games on the commercial at all. But I mean... It's a good, maybe it's the idea that, everybody knows that Xbox is a gaming machine. Like, well, y'all get that. We know we can play video games on it, but this is what else it can do.
But here's my complaint about that, though, is for some way off their reason, if you don't know what an Xbox is and you happen to catch this, no. I know, but this is their way of thinking is that someone's going to catch this who likes football or likes fantasy football that necessarily doesn't play video games or doesn't know anything about video games. They now see this and go, oh my God, this is so cool. I could use this for my fantasy football thing.
So now they've sold to somebody who wouldn't have ever bought an Xbox before.
I guess that's the reason they did it, but
that's the whole point. They've already sold it to gamers. Gamers are either going to buy it or not have bought it.
I know, but how much of the demographic for Xbox is that going to sell to? 0.5%? That's not worth it to alienate gamers.
First of all, I don't think they're alienating gamers. I think people
I think they totally did.
Who are going to buy an Xbox because they want to play video games on it knows what an Xbox is is already planning to buy it, might have even pre-ordered it, or even people who aren't entirely sure they're going to buy the Xbox. I don't think throwing in 30 seconds, or not even 30 seconds, like 10 seconds of a Madden football game, and somebody's going to go, oh, I'm going to go out. Because, like, okay, I don't know that, now that even, like, the more I talk about it with you, I'm not sure that the Xbox needs to show games. I think games need to have commercials. Like,
Okay.
individual games
What
need
if
to
you're
have
a game
commercials for
developer,
games.
though? What if you're a game developer, though? And now a game developer who's working his butt off sees this and goes, huh? Like where's the games? The main focus of the system.
But I think it's that individual company's then job to promote their game. Like, people, like, if you're a gamer, you know what an Xbox is. You're already aware that it's there. Like you said, this is exactly the point. This is like one of those people, I mean, not that I think there's a person on the earth who doesn't know what an Xbox is. But I'm just saying, somebody out there who thinks that's all it is. Like, oh, it's just like, yeah, it's a gaming system and they threw in some, multimedia stuff. They're going to see this commercial and go, wow, I don't play video games at all, but I still might go buy an Xbox One because that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need to market to the gamers. The gamers know it's there.
But I don't know. I got rubbed the wrong way by seeing it because it was like, well, they kind of just threw the whole gaming part out. They were just like, oh, we don't, this isn't what we're focusing on. And their whole presentation that everyone was like, they're going to turn this into a cable box and not a gaming system, a whole entertainment system thing. And I guess I can see that, but it's like, that's not who they're going to sell to. 90% of their market share
are gamers.
Are gamers.
Those gamers are already well aware of every single gaming aspect of the Xbox One. They have the entire thing memorized on what's on Xbox One, what's on PS4, like what the differences are. They've already got that.
The difference is that PS4 are going to sell a lot of units.
They have either sold to those people already or haven't. Now they're trying to sell to the rest of the people who might not have initial, they might even be gamers. They might already actually have an Xbox 360, but they're not like avid gamers. They're not like the type of person who's going to run out and buy next-gen console the day it comes out. But they're huge football fans. And they love fantasy football. Now they're going to go, oh, well, if I can do that too, screw my 360. Let's go get this one. So that's who they're selling to, because that's who they need to sell to. Like, throwing in some game footage is not going to make somebody all of a sudden go,
it would have been,
oh, I'm going to buy an Xbox One now,
but
where they did it before.
How hard it would have been to throw in just a little Madden, just a little NCAA, it's something
and
that
like
shows games. I'm not asking for like BioShock in it.
I don't see an Xbox One commercial and go, okay, I want to go play that game. That game is going to have their own commercial. Like, we're going to see Watchdog commercials. And,
which is true.
Like, you see game commercials. You see WoW commercials. You don't see...
Yeah, it was a WoW commercial in a while, actually.
You see them at Christmas. That just was the next game that came to mind.
No, but that is a good point, though. That is a good point. That is the one thing that we do need more of. We do need more game commercials. I mean,
we really only see them at Christmas.
No, well, screw that, though. We buy games all year long.
Again, I think that if you're the type of person who's buying games all year long, you don't necessarily need to see a commercial for it. You're seeing them other places.
But I mean, they already have all this marketing money anyways. I mean, it builds up hype. I mean, how many? Okay, now look at Grand Theft Auto 5. They've released these trailers. Now,
I've seen commercials for that.
Yeah, and exactly, but only like the big AAA titles like Final Fantasy, Grand Theft Auto, Halo, things like that. You see the big AAA titles.
Well, yeah, because indie's not going to have that much money.
Not even really indie, but what about okay, so how many BioShock Infinite commercials did we see during that time? We saw a couple. But then we had, I think that if you're going to if the game consoles aren't going to include people in their marketing, and then these game companies aren't releasing commercials, well, who's to blame? The game company?
It's their game. They need to market their game.
Yeah.
Why is that Xbox's
it all goes down to, well, it's not their responsibility, but it's like Halo was a Microsoft exclusive game.
Well, that's different. That obviously is then Microsoft's responsibility.
Yeah.
Because they're the studio at that point. It's the studio's job to market their game, not the system.
I just think it was unfair that they made it seem like they talked about like every aspect of it basically in the commercial except the gaming part.
See, I don't think they talked about any aspect other than the football. They're selling it to football.
Well, no, they had Skype, they had the Final Fantasy,
fancy football, but
the
I think
fantasy
that all
football.
relates back to
football.
the football.
I don't know. I think it was just a really horrible commercial. I mean, they could have done something, or at least release 2 commercials or something.
Yeah, I mean, they could have maybe released 2 commercials, but like I said, I think they're thinking that the gamers that are interested in the system, like, why waste? Like, how much do you think that commercial costs? Probably a couple million.
None of that. Probably.
Well, okay, a bit.
Probably at least 100,000.
But so, like, why waste $100,000 on a commercial to market to people who are either? I mean, that one of those types. A gaming commercial is not going to sell an Xbox to somebody. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, if someone, for whatever reason, saw Grand Theft Auto 5 and was just like, "That's a great game. I've never played those. I saw it. I'm going to go get a game console." But now they're not going to have that because Microsoft put in fantasy football.
I mean, like, I think that as Christmas comes around and as we get closer to the date, we will see a commercial featuring some video games.
This holiday season is going to be crazy with commercials.
Yeah.
Because it was PS4, Xbox 360, it's not 360, yeah, Xbox One. They really should have picked a better name. Because everyone's going to call it the Xbox. Okay, well then they're gonna be like, oh, the first one or the 360? It's like, no, like the new one. It's like the new iPad. It was stupid too. I think it was kind of a crappy idea to leave gamers out. She obviously did not.
I don't think that they need to market to gamers.
Okay. I don't know about that.
I mean, it's okay. Name one gamer.
I understand. We're
name
moving
one
on.
gamer
We're
out there
moving on.
who doesn't right now already know whether that's the system they're going to buy or not.
There's some people that post around going, asking people, persuade me, which way should I go?
And do you think a
That didn't
commercial
do
with
it.
5 seconds worth of Madden in it is going to persuade them?
No, because Madden's released on everything. But I'm just saying some kind of gameplay into the thing would have helped. All right, moving on to the next story. I think this is another terrible thing that Microsoft did. The Xbox One has an official release date. It's November 22nd.
Right.
PS4 comes out the 15th.
Yeah.
I feel that was a bad move because there was rumor online that I think it was a Walmart ad that got leaked saying that the Xbox One was going to be released November 8th.
I think the Xbox probably did need to come out before.
I think because it's $100 more, and yeah, I think it should have came out first because if the PS4 is not around and then like someone goes to GameStop, like just by chance, someone goes to GameStop, trades in their Xbox 360 and stuff like that, and they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna pick what system I want. Well, that PS4 is not out yet.
No, the Xbox is out yet.
Well, no, the PS4. No, yeah,
well,
the Xbox would be out first, so they would most likely get that one over the PS4 because it's already out. But now that the PS4 is going to come out, they're going to have the head start on sales. And not to say the Xbox One's not going to sell a whole lot, but I think it really needed to come out first, especially with the $100 price difference.
I do think it needed to come out first. I'm not as strongly opinioned of it as you are, but I definitely think, because I think what they're going to lose now are those people who just don't want to wait.
Exactly.
Like, there would have been people out there who are like, I don't know which one I want to get. Oh, well, this one comes first. I'm getting it because I don't want to wait any longer.
Exactly.
So they're going to lose that. At the same time, I think that a lot of people as of right now have probably already made up their mind over which one they want.
Yeah.
And they're just going to wait for the respective date. And I think maybe Xbox is secure enough, whether they should be or not. I think that maybe they feel, we have a big enough fan base, our fanboys, I guess to say, that will wait.
Well, not to say Microsoft doesn't have fanboys. They have a hardcore group of people that are just all, Microsoft, Xbox One. That's it. They won't even touch a Sony product. Some people got burned by Sony with things that happened with PlayStation 3 and things like that. So I understand they're going to have good sales. I think it's going to be sort of close, but I feel
I do agree that I think they're going to lose
But
out
they're gonna
on that group
lose.
out of people who were just impatient to get either one, and they're just going to get whichever one comes first.
Exactly.
So I think, especially with it being $100, I'm holding my water bottle up. With it being $100 more, I definitely think that because of that, they should have. That, and I don't quite understand, what are they going to do for those 2 weeks?
That the
Do they
PS4
really
is up.
need that 2 weeks to finish something?
If
that's my
I
thing.
think if they would have been smart, they either should have released it on the 8th, like they said they were going to, or they should have waited and just released it at the same time. Go head to head.
Yeah,
Well, why wait till the 22nd? I mean, I guess they're wanting to see what happens to the PS4 in those 2 weeks that they don't want to do.
yeah, and I mean, I understand that too, but I mean, I especially think with all, and I know a lot of it has been righted now, like they've taken away the DRM and the constant on and all
Yeah.
those sorts of things that initially, you said, okay, Xbox has completely lost this, they might as well not even try.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I know they've corrected a lot
I
of
think
that
it's kind of
stuff.
funny too that they even backtracked on you don't need to connect, connected to the system at all anymore.
Right.
This is what I think they should have done is $4.99 it comes with a Kinect. Before the PS4 goes live, why don't they just make another bundle that's $3.99 that doesn't have the Kinect? It would be then that way people would have the choice if they want to connect, they get it for $100 more. If they don't want it,
Because
it's
I
the same
think-
price as the PS4.
I think the way a lot of their, and the same way like I called it, it turns your TV into a smart TV. I think a lot of their features that they have built in are built around the fact of using the Kinect. And without the Kinect, it's going to seem like a lesser experience.
Yeah.
And they don't want people to feel like disappointed or like it's not working as good as it could because they weren't willing, you know what I mean? Even though
Yeah.
it's their fault for not shelling out the extra $100, even though Xbox is saying if you want a full experience, get the Kinect.
Yeah.
People are still going to feel cheated when deciding not to and then not getting the full effect. So they were just going to make everybody buy it. So nobody could complain, I guess.
I think it's, and this is just complete rumor and speculation that I've read, that Sony has hinted at the PS4 having voice commands, and the new camera that'll be coming out for PlayStation Move will be a lot like the Kinect in the sense that you can control your TV and everything like that. And again, if that all comes into place, even after the PS4 launches, again, it's that $100 difference. Now it's going to be, I can get the same thing on the PlayStation. They're going to be identical systems, and the only difference is that $100 price point.
Yeah.
I think they're going to end up basically shooting themselves in the foot over $100, and I think they're going to end up lowering the price.
Aren't they already going to lose money
Yeah,
on every system sold?
Yeah, that's what they say, and I don't know. I don't see Microsoft doing that.
Don't they do it currently on Xbox?
They did the 360 in the beginning. They did lose money on that, but they eventually turned it around to where they were making profit on it. I think I think that's why they're sticking to the $100 more price point, is because that's how they're making profit off of it. Is they have to be $4.99 to make profit off of it. To where the Sony PlayStation 4 at $3.99, they're only making I think $50 per unit, but they're okay with that because they got that $100 price cut. So.
And here's the thing, okay, like when CES or E3, I'm sorry, happened this year and the full first announcements happened, I was right along with everybody else. I was like, screw Xbox, they screwed themselves over, nobody's buying Xbox.
Yeah.
Go PS4. And now it's like however many months later, like I said, they retracted a lot of the things.
They did.
And, now I've kind of come to the conclusion that we'll probably end up with both.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: is I was ready to buy a PS4. I was trading in my Xbox 360, getting a PS4, but then I was looking at the games I want to play. There's like The Diversion, Watch Dogs, Mirror's Edge 2 when it comes out. All of them are coming out on PC.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I really need a new console that badly? No, but since we're a gaming website and we do game reviews with games and hardware and stuff like that,
Obviously, we will.
obviously we're going to get both.
Maybe not first day.
Probably
I
not
don't
first
think we're going to
day.
be first day buyers.
Unless there's just like an incredible deal or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 is getting ready to come out, and I'm trading in my Xbox 360 for a PS3 because I need a Blu-ray player, and I want the Blu-ray player. And actually, I want to play The Last of Us because I'm tired.
Yeah,
of
if it wasn't for
hearing-
The Last of Us, we probably would buy.
We
PS4.
probably
First
would
day.
be. We still might be. We might
Wow.
do a PS4 on first day. Only reason I want the PS3 is because I want to play The Last of Us because I'm tired of everyone talking about how great it is.
Yeah.
And going, oh, it's the awesomest thing ever. You're gonna go look at it. Shut
Our
up.
intern really wants to play it too.
Yeah, she's a picky man for an intern. Whew,
It's very
Dude.
demanding.
demanding person, man. Where's my coffee? Oh, okay. All right. So as far as that, November 22nd, you get the Xbox One. 15th, you get the PS4. So the choice is yours. Buy PS4.
Bible.
Buy both. If you can. Support gaming in general. Buy both. All right, moving on to the next story. I thought this was kind of cool. Speaking of when we were talking about Watch Dogs, they detailed a little bit of the Watchdog app. It's a companion app that'll be launched on iOS and the Android platform.
Do you have to pay for it? I didn't ask you that before.
Did you have to pay for it? I think as long as you buy the game, you get it.
Okay.
I think it's the only way you can get it. I don't know. I actually didn't look into that. It's a good question. I'll put it in the show notes if you have to. But I didn't know a whole lot about it. Watch Dogs is definitely on my list to play, and this is the coolest idea ever. Okay, so when you go into multiplayer in Watch Dogs, and you can take the iPad app, and load it up, and you can join a multiplayer game, and you'll be the companion in the system. And basically what it is that you have two people going head to head, and the object is, and I think this is just one of the gameplay modes, is to basically stop your opponent from getting to the checkpoints. The cool part about this is the person on the iPad or the Android app has to hack into the system. So you can change stoplights, you can cause, you can hack cell phones, and you can basically do all kinds of just cool stuff in the app to help your guy out and to stop the other person from getting to, a checkpoint. I thought this was the coolest thing ever.
Do you know how somehow just now when you were describing it,
Yeah.
what popped in my head?
What was that?
You can be the Napster.
I can be the Napster. That is right. I can totally be the Napster.
Totally just came to my head.
Yeah. So I can be the Napster. The people are
Nobody
going, what is, the people
understands
was like, what is this guy
that. Nobody's
talking
seen
about?
that movie.
No one has seen The Italian Job as much as I have. I love that movie. I don't watch it every day.
You would if it came on.
I don't watch it every day.
It is not quite that thing you do, but
Okay,
You
we're talking about, okay, that's the old show. We're not talking about movies and entertainment.
just saying.
We're talking about games. But no, I thought this was really cool because, Call of Duty is going to have a companion app. Battlefield 4 is going to have a companion app. A lot of big games that are coming out have this other experience. Like even World of Warcraft has an app on, I think it's just on the iPhone, that you can talk to your guild and you can look at your character in the auction house and you can do all kinds of stuff with the game when you're not there. And the Call of Duty one kind of is the same thing. It's got a little bit of more of you can do stuff with your clan and you can do some things in multiplayer.
The WoW one has a monthly subscription though, doesn't it?
If you want, there is a monthly subscription if you want to do something with the armory, I think.
Oh, okay.
I just realized I was totally not on camera. So that has a monthly thing, but even with the Battlefield 4 companion app, it's they call it commander mode, I believe is what they called it, and you can basically you'll hear the team that you're on and everything like that, and basically you can send missile strikes and take down buildings, and you can send reinforcements or drones and stuff to certain spots on the map, and you just click on it and it interacts all real time with the game. And I think this is actually really a cool way of using your iPad, so I don't have to play Temple Run all the time. It gives me if I'm playing Battlefield 4 and I'm in Battlefield 4 real heavy, or Watch Dogs or anything like that. I mean, and I'm at lunch or at work, you're away from the house, I can still hop in and kind of check things out and not really worry about oh, I gotta wait till I get home, or it gives me a little bit of the game when I'm away from the game.
It's something to do.
It's something to do.
It'd be fun when I go to the hospital
Yeah. Like I could be at home, like, playing Watch Dogs, and you can jump on the companion app when you're at the hospital, and like you can jump in and like help me.
Yeah.
And I think that's just cool because it's another level of gameplay, and this just sounds really cool. Especially with the hacking, like the cell phones, and like you can like go to all the cameras that are in the game, like it's in the whole entire like environment. You can see any of the cameras in like real time. And like, you can hack stoplights and things like that. You can create diversions and stuff. It's just a really cool game. I'm really excited for Watch Dogs. I'm really excited about the diversion too, but that's a whole other story. All right, so let's move on to our last story here. Now, we all know that we mentioned last week that we talked a little bit of PAX Prime with the Elder Scrolls. The guys over at GeekGamer.tv actually went there for all 4 days and covered the event, shot a whole bunch of video. They've actually got some up on their website right now. And they've been gracious enough to let us play some of the videos that are on here. And we're going to do that here in just a second. This is actually Chase and the crew checking out the Oculus Rift. And I talked to him on Skype, and he said he couldn't actually explain in detail just how cool the Oculus Rift actually was. And he said it really will change the way people play games. The VR is great. It was high def. And it really, really made you feel like you was there. He said there was no lag when you'd look up and down. And he gets to play I think he gets to play a mech game and a racing game in this one. And it's just totally cool. So here, check it out.
Hey everybody, Chase here at Geek Gamer TV. I'm here with Joe from Oculus.
Hey guys.
And Joe, I'm going to try this for the very first time. I've never tried this before. Kind of describe in words, because it's going to be hard for us to show it, obviously. What am I going to experience?
So what you're going to experience is what we call HDVR. It's basically the dev kit which we've been shipping to game developers all over the world now, but with a 1080p panel grafted onto the front instead of the 720p panel, which the dev kit ships with. Really just something from our labs that we wanted to show and give people a glimpse of what's coming in terms of how good we think VR is going to be in the future. So
when I turn my head, everything turns with it. So up, down, left, right, all that?
Absolutely. There's a small tracker right here in the front that picks up where you're looking, and then based off of a little bit of math, we can figure out exactly what the environment needs to look like, and we change it pretty much on the fly. And latency is definitely one of those things we fight, so we think we have a pretty good solution so far to have a pretty quick response. So whenever you look to the right, that world shouldn't lag behind. It should be right there. It should feel exactly like it should.
All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put this on. Joe's going to grab the microphone and going to put it in front of my mouth, and I'm going to try to describe with my awesome words what it feels like. So, all right, here we go.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
All right, have a seat.
All right.
Gotcha. Both hands.
All right, both
Bring it up
hands.
to your eyes.
Okay.
Like binoculars. There's a sweet spot in the center that I want you to find.
Okay, I got it.
A little bit of adjustment there.
All right, no problem.
He's got a fat head.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
No comment, not saying anything.
That's all right.
All right, is everything clear?
Yep, everything
Cool.
looks good.
Before we do anything else,
The bottom part's a little blurry, but I don't know.
you're going to have a little bit of blurry in the periphery. That's just down to how our
Oh,
optics
okay.
create that field of view.
All right.
So before we do anything, look around. We want to get people used to looking around with their heads. So,
So-
look left, look right, look up, look down.
Whoa, so it looks like I'm in a cockpit,
You're in a mech.
In
You
a
are
mech.
In a mech in Hawken.
and wow. This,
Turn all the way around. Look behind you.
oh my goodness. So I could see it's like I want to reach up and grab it, right? It's like, you don't see your hands, but other than that, that's unreal.
Yep, and you should be able to reach out and touch the instruments, or you feel like you should be able to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, they're right here, yeah.
If you look out your windows, you'll see weapon systems.
Yep, there's one there and one
Cannon,
there.
Gatling gun.
Man, you guys should really see this. This looks phenomenal.
Great.
This
I'm gonna
looks
give you a
great.
game controller right now.
Okay, all right,
Sticks will move you around.
all right,
So
Whoa.
you have an idea what that feels like.
okay.
All right. Lower triggers are your fire buttons.
Oh my goodness.
And then this is the fun button. Hold this bumper down. That will basically let you fly. We have you in God mode, so unlimited thrust. You can fly as high as you want. Get up nice and high, and then look down, and you'll get a good sense of depth. One of the things
Whoa.
that VR is really good for is creating a sense of scale. And of course, when that scale is vertical, it's height.
So as far as the graphics engine goes, what I see, is this running off of just a normal, say, high-end gaming PC?
Yeah, this is just a gaming PC. We could you're sitting on it right now. We could just crack it open and take a look at it. Nothing particularly special, just a nice gaming PC with a nice GPU.
Now, as far as gaming goes, do most games have to be basically custom designed and developed for this, or could another game be easily adapted for it?
Ideally, well, first of all games have to essentially be at least, how do I say this? They have to use our SDK. It's not like you can take a game off the shelf and plug it in and it'll work. So that said, the first games that you're seeing right now, for instance, Hawken and iRacing, they're ports of existing games. What we really think is going to be exciting is when game developers like the Hawken team can take a look at VR, really understand and learn the lessons from Hawken and create from the ground up, scratch-built VR games that really take advantage of VR. For instance, all the things that you're feeling and seeing right now, and then also avoid some of the things that are less desirable about VR. So, yeah.
Are there other applications that are going to be made for this? For example, say, remote flights in real world, drones or model airplanes, or
someone's actually hooked up a hexcopter or a quadcopter to one of these already.
That's something I really want to do.
Yeah. There's a video on it. I forgot. Just YouTube drone Oculus. It'll show up. Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. There's all sorts of applications, not just in terms of flight and flight simulation and training, but also medical, architecture, anything where you really need to have a good understanding of the digital representation of the environment. It's incredibly powerful. So,
is there going to be any kind of possibly like voice activation or something where I not only I can interact with my cockpit by looking around and stuff, but I could say, activate this or do something like that?
Right now, we're focused on sight. We're such visual creatures, so by really nailing down the sight, the vision component of VR, we're able to pretty much trick the brain. Now, there's tons of other components of immersion. For instance, you mentioned voice control. There's also gesture control. Earlier, you mentioned, I want to see my hands. You want to see your body. There's tons of other components of VR that we're not quite there yet, but we're really focused on the vision. Now, speaking of which, audio is another big component. So I'm going to give you some headphones, and here's where I think you're going to slip yourself into the world of Hawken. So get ready. How's that?
There we go. Okay. Whoa.
Audio in general adds to the immersion. At this point, we lose people, and we have to wake them up a few minutes later when they won't leave.
Yeah, I've been following, everybody's been following Oculus from the beginning.
I'm firing weapons, and the really neat effect is I see the bullet trails coming from behind the weapons, and it really gives and the missiles, and it gives an incredible perspective. It's really hard to describe. I know I said I would suck at this, but it's true. You take your awesome best first-person shooter, and you're taking it to the extreme level. And the one thing I love about this is it feels, dare I say, natural. It doesn't feel. I know this is a virtual world and all, but it doesn't feel. It feels more natural. It's really hard to
not like 3D that you use where you have glasses or shutters or something like.
I could see depths in the shapes, shadows, and it feels like that's a texture over there that I can actually go out and touch, as opposed to just watching it on a screen wearing just normal 3D glasses or something. This feels real. This is not. It doesn't feel gimmicky at all. It feels solid. It feels really, really good, and I know this would probably make some people sick. Do you have a lot of people that need a bucket or something after possibly playing this?
No, we haven't heard of anyone actually needing a bucket, but it can be a little bit overwhelming for people at first, depending on your own personal sensitivity, the content. We tend to try to pick content that's exciting still, but not overwhelming. It's for instance, we've got a racing game over there. We've got Hawken here. They're both cockpit games. Nate is actually Nate can give tons of great insight in terms of game design, and probably the easiest to acclimate types of games initially, but beyond that, there's tons of experimentation to still be done, and there's nothing saying that other games that are, for instance, there's skydiving games out there right now that are absolutely terrifying, but they're still fun. So
I definitely got to say, in doing this just short demo, I know I'm at PAX right now, but it doesn't feel like I'm at PAX right now. it's really phenomenal. It's an incredible thing.
That's our goal, to put as much of you in the game as possible. Right now we're starting with vision, and we're really hoping to nail that part down. So, cool.
Just excellent.
What do you think?
Thank you so much.
All right, I just have to say that, can I just get one now?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is just the coolest thing. Like I said, he couldn't actually find any way to describe more than he did on just how cool it was. And I had a lot of doubts about this unit too, because, I've read some stuff and it's like, oh, virtual reality, that's never worked right. And yeah, he said it was just awesome. He'll definitely be getting one. I definitely think that I'm going to get one now just because of how just well he says it works. And plus, this is still in kind of early development. And they can do a ton of stuff like this. And it's just like, and of course, how stylish did it look?
Pretty nifty.
No, I mean, it's not big and bulky, but that's even just the dev unit. I think the actual unit's going to be a little smaller than that, but sign me up. I'll take one, though, any time of the week. All right, before we get things settled out here, don't forget the iPhone event on Tuesday, September 10th, 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to be covering the Apple keynote for the new iPhone 5S. There's been some rumors that apps have come up and said iPhone 6. We don't know, but we'll be here, gamertech.tv, covering it live. Also, don't forget, on that same night, we're going to be testing a beta stream of our WoW raid. And Annie will be actually in the raid, so you'll be able to watch her gameplay, and you'll hear events and everything going on in the game, just like you see on normal Twitch channels. But we're gonna be testing some different software.
You'll get to see how a totally cool mage I am.
Yeah, she's a totally just badass mage.
Yeah.
So hopefully this all doesn't fail. So watch the Twitter and the Facebook feed. You can get any of our social media links by looking here on the screen. Go to facebook.com/gamertechtv, twitter.com/gamertechlive, Google+, G+.2/gamertechtv, and of course youtube.com/gamertechlive. I couldn't get gamertechtv on everything, so don't shoot me for it. Okay. Just saying. But yeah, follow any of those social media links for any time we go live. We have a calendar that's actually on the website.
Xbox.
It's the Xbox ad. Whoops, wrong button. So yeah. So you just go to the website. There's a calendar with all of our live events and everything on it. And of course, we're going to have eventually the 24-hour stream up and running, and probably be November before we get to that. And it'll have all the reruns, everything like that. You can also go to the website and subscribe to the show. But we have the RSS feeds. I just submitted everything to iTunes. For some reason, they're taking a little bit longer to get back to me. There was a problem the first time, so I had to resubmit it. But everything should be coming back that way. I remember recording high def this time, so the video will look a whole lot better. I apologize again for last week's episode of it being kind of crappy and 2000 all over again. It was for YouTube time. So I apologize for that. So don't forget BlizzCon November 8th. We'll be covering that live on the good old website. Is there anything we want to mention before we go? No? Are you sure? Are you positive this time? Okay. Well, we'll see you guys back here on... Oh, now you coughed.
I know. I was trying.
How dare you? You just screwed up the whole thing.
Doing this? Try to hurry you along.
Anyways, we'll be back here Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of GamerTech.tv. Until then, go play more games.